everyone, it's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel. As entrepreneurs, I know that a lot of us have to be very, very careful with where we are spending our money, and sometimes that can cause us to be a little bit stingy when it comes to buying stuff for our business. In today's video, I want to go over 8 things that I do think it's worth spending your money on to operate your business versus 8 things that I think you shouldn't bother wasting your money on. And I wanted to start this list with the #1 thing that I see eBay sellers skimping on where I do think that they should be spending, and that is paying for insertion fees or an eBay store subscription. So now I know eBay gives you up to 350 free insertions every single month, and so that might make you not think that having an eBay store subscription is worth the money. But I would say if you're an eBay seller that is really trying to make an actual business out of your eBay sales, and you're wanting to make consistent money doing it, having an eBay store subscription will do nothing but benefit you in the long term. And this is because of some of the features that you get with an eBay store subscription. My favorite being the ability to run a markdown sale. I'm always talking about being active in your eBay store to get the eBay algorithm to notice your listings, and running frequent sales is one of the ways I do that. I am always running some form of a sale on eBay, whether it's 5% off or 10% off. I'm always running a sale. And it's also this act of having a marketing strategy so that a potential buyer sees that there's a current sale running and it's likely to end. Not only that, but when you have an eBay store, you also have the ability to categorize your listings in eBay, which makes shopping a lot more seamless for buyers that come into your store. If you don't have an eBay store subscription and you don't have your items categorized, if a buyer wants to buy multiple things from you, they're forced to look at everything when they might only be interested in a couple of different categories. And also, if you have a basic store level or higher, you get a quarterly shipping supply coupon to help pay for shipping supplies. And usually this is equivalent to the price of your store subscription. So it's almost like you're getting every 3rd month free because you're getting that same dollar amount back in free shipping supplies. Those are just the primary benefits that I see with having a store subscription. I think it's well worth the money. And the same thing goes for insertion fees. There are numerous sellers out there that will just simply stop listing items on eBay because they've used up the free insertions that eBay gives them for their store level. And because they don't want to pay an extra 25 or 10 cents to add listings to their eBay store, they just stop listing. This is one of the things that I really hit hard in my top 10 mistakes that I see sellers making. I will make sure to link that video down in the video description. But in that video, I really talk about not understanding the mindset behind this, and that's still the case. Why would you not list an item for sale just to save a quarter? If you have items that can be listed and make you money, get them listed. It's well worth a 10-cent or 25-cent insertion fee to do that. And the first thing that I want to tell you I don't feel like it's worth the money, don't waste your money on subtitles or bold lettering in your eBay listings. This stuff gets expensive. To add a subtitle to your eBay title, it's $1.50. And if you want bold print, that's a whopping $4. And don't forget, all listings automatically renew every 30 days. And every time that listing renews, they're going to tack on that $1.50 and $4 onto your invoice. Yeah, a bold title or a subtitle might look good, but it can be really expensive. So if you're not listing items that are bringing an astronomical profit margin for you, it's probably best just not to waste your money. The next item I feel is definitely worth the money are small tools that help you perform your jobs better. For instance, the 2 tools that stand out the most when I think of tools that make my life easier when it comes to reselling online is a Scotty peeler and a tape gun. There are many instances where I've spoken to sellers that will refuse to buy a tape gun because they say that scissors can do the exact same job, completely forgetting about the fact that a tape gun allows you to speed up the process of packaging items faster without having to fiddle around with scissors and a roll of tape. A tape gun is roughly $15 to $20 for a decent one. Just make the buy and ship items faster. I've spoken with numerous sellers that don't want to fork over a few dollars for a Scotty peeler because their fingernails do the exact same job. Scotty peelers will remove stickers and tape so much faster than your fingers will, I promise you. And the last I looked, you can get a 3-pack of plastic Scotty peelers for less than $10. So don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money on tools that can make your job easier or faster. But don't waste your money on fancy packaging or custom-made stuff. It's really fun to think about having things like specialty made custom boxes for shipping your merchandise, or tissue paper that has your eBay store name on them. But in the grand scheme of things, this can just be a major waste of money. If you're wrapping up an item in custom tissue paper and putting it in a box that has your eBay store logo on it, yet you're still taping it up and cutting the tape with scissors because you refuse to cough up the dough for a tape gun, well, then you might be doing something wrong. The next thing that I do think it would be worth spending the money on is utilizing eBay's promoted listings. If you're having trouble selling an item because you have a lot of competition, let's say you are one of thousands of a similar item, it might be a good idea to pay an extra 1 to 3% to eBay to get your listing as promoted. The benefit of this is you only have to pay that extra 1 to 3% after a listing sells. You don't have to pay for it up front, so really you're just having to give eBay a kickback for helping you sell it. So if you're really struggling with getting traffic to your listing, you've been really trying everything like refreshing your listing, running sales, relisting it, if you've just been beating your head against a wall to try to figure out why your item is not getting any traffic, paying eBay 1 to 3% extra of a final value fee might be worth it. But then on the opposite side of that, don't waste your money with eBay promoted listings. Didn't she just say? Yes, I know, I just completely contradicted myself in front of all of you guys. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. No, at the same time, don't waste your money with eBay promoted listings. This means if you really don't have a lot of competition, using eBay's promoted listings can be a real waste of money, especially when you go off of the trending ad rates. A lot of the times, eBay will give you a suggested ad rate of the trending ad rate, which can be upwards of 30 to 40%. That, my dears, is a waste of money. So it's not a waste of money if you have a lot of competition and you're really struggling with visibility, and then giving them maybe 1 to 3%, but it is a waste of money if you don't necessarily have a lot of competition and you're spending over 10% extra just to have your listing promoted. So if you are going to use eBay's promoted listings, just make sure you know which side of the fence you're on. Is it worth the money or is it a waste of money? The next thing I think that you should be willing to spend your money on is quality inventory. For instance, if you source merchandise like I do, it might be worth it to pay a little bit more for the assurance of having wholesale quality product, or pay a little bit more in liquidation for items that are manifested. Sometimes you have to pay a little bit more for inventory for the reassurance that you're getting good sellable merchandise. For example, you guys always hear me talk about Wholesale Ninjas. Not only are they a huge supporter of my YouTube channel and they sponsor numerous videos, including this one. Wholesale Ninjas is sponsoring today's video. Thank you again, Wholesale Ninjas. But the reason why I partner with them is because they are one of the best liquidation companies that I source merchandise with for my eBay store, because not only can I get the wholesale quality product for that liquidation price, every time I get orders from them, there's hardly any breakage, there's rarely any expiration dates that are past date. And for service like that, I would expect to pay more. Whereas I might source with another liquidation company where I get a dirt cheap price and then I get a bunch of trash delivered to my house. I think it is well worth it to spend money on quality merchandise that you know you're going to be able to resell online. Also, because Wholesale Ninjas is sponsoring today's video and they are a proud supporter of my YouTube channel, I do have a coupon code for them. The code is Lindey25 and it gets you $25 off of anything on the Wholesale Ninjas website. I will make sure to link my favorite products on their site down in the video description. Thank you again very much to Wholesale Ninjas for sponsoring today's video and for partnering with me me for over a year and a half now. And then the flip side of that, I don't think that you should waste your money buying inventory just because it's cheap. I did that for a really long time and I regretted it. I had mounds of death piles all over my basement. There was always junk that I never wanted to list because there was really no value. I had just bought the stuff because it was super cheap. And you don't realize how buying so much cheap stuff just amounts to wasting a whole bunch of money. The next thing that I do think it's worth spending money on is stuff for organizing your listed inventory. This would include things like really sturdy commercial grade shelving and plenty of bins and boxes for storing your merchandise. Having a well-organized, structured inventory space can save you sanity, and it can save you time when it comes to finding items that have sold so that you can ship it out. For a really long time, I was really stingy with how much money I spent when it came to storing the inventory as I waited for it to sell. And I very quickly started to realize that it was becoming very difficult to find items because I was really lacking any sort of containers or storage options and any sort of organization, really. So going ahead and spending money on quality merchandise for storing your inventory can really help you in the long run. But don't waste your money buying really super pretty bins or constantly buying cheap shelving units that just bend and break because the boxes are heavy. Make sure you're paying for quality and sturdiness versus just a cheap do-for situation or buying something that's aesthetically pleasing. You don't have to get boxes or bins with pretty flowers on them. You can be very basic. Don't waste your money buying the most expensive plastic bins. The cheap Sterilite bins will perform the same task. And don't waste your money on cheap shelves that are going to bend and break. If you put up the money up front buying sturdy shelving units, it's going to save you money in the long run without having to replace those cheap plastic shelves over and over again. Do consider spending money buying either a tablet or a laptop for running your e-commerce business. Yes, we have phones. Yes, we can do the listings from our phones, but also you must consider the things that you might be able to more easily do on the desktop version using a laptop or a desktop computer. So you can start your business and operate your business just fine from your phone, but there are certain features that you cannot access from your phone, such as setting up your eBay store, running markdown sales, promotions, or promoted listings. It's also just overall, in my opinion, a lot easier to edit listings and create listings on the computer versus mobile. So I do think that if you're going to run an e-commerce business, it would be a good idea to go ahead and spend money on something like a laptop or maybe an iPad if it's easier for listing. But I don't think that you should waste your money buying an expensive digital camera for photos. If you have a cell phone, there is a 99% chance that the camera quality of your cell phone is just fine for listing merchandise on eBay. Do not think that you have to run out and buy a $500 expensive digital camera to take pristine photos for your eBay listing, because that is definitely not the case. If you're willing to go spend $500 on an expensive camera, I would highly recommend you go use it to buy a laptop instead. Don't waste your money. The camera on your phone is more than sufficient. Next, I do think it is well worth the money to buy some sort of a light box or really nice lighting for taking photos for your eBay listings. You don't have to get the giant box lights, but simple umbrella lights will serve the same function. Or if you're photographing small items like I do, I highly recommend getting a light box. It is well worth the $75. And then it's also well worth it to buy nice, bright daylight bulbs to go in that lighting setup. Because remember, when you're listing items on eBay, the main photo when people are scrolling is likely to be the #1 thing that makes someone click. The title is responsible for holding the keywords that a buyer searches for to get the item in front of them, but the picture is going to be what makes them click. So having a really well-lit photo is essential, and if that means spending a little bit of money on Lightbox or a nice lighting setup, I think it is well worth every penny. However, I think it is a complete waste of money to go buy a whole bunch of different backdrops and an entire rod setup to create an entire entire photo studio inside your house. So now if you have the capital to invest in this extravagant background setup, then by all means, go for it. It can do nothing but help. But if you're growing your e-commerce business and money is really tight and you're looking to only allocate funds to the necessary areas of your business, buying a bunch of backdrops and rods to hold them on is really just a waste of money. If you're needing a lot of space for photographing, if you're doing something like clothing and you're wanting to dress a mannequin, just finding a nice clutter-free corner in your home with adequate lighting is sufficient. You don't have to have numerous backdrops and an entire setup to hang them on. And then the final thing that I do think it is worth spending money on is a storage unit for storing your inventory off-site if that's what you need for your sanity. So when we were house shopping to buy the house that we are in right now, at the top of my list was a large basement for storing everything for my business so that I could keep all of my e-commerce stuff out of the rest of my house. That was a real pain point for me because in my previous house, my e-commerce store spilled everywhere, all over the house, and I couldn't escape from it. As much as I love my business, I have to be able to close a door and turn my brain off from sales at the end of the day. And if you don't have proper storage space, that's really difficult to do. So if I didn't have the ability to have an entire basement dedicated solely to listing items online, connected to a door that I could close, I would want to move all of my inventory off-site. And the best, cheapest, and most cost-efficient way to do this is to have a storage unit. I've spoken with numerous sellers that pay for a storage unit that may or may not be climate controlled to store all of their inventory off-site so that it's not overtaking their home. You can get a really decent sized storage unit depending on where you live for roughly $100 to $200 a month, and this is probably well worth the dollar amount to save your sanity. But where I think it is a complete waste of money is to rent office space outside your house just to take your entire business out of your home. Renting an entire office space to go along with storing all of your inventory off-site can be a massive waste of money because office space rentals are significantly more expensive than just simply renting a storage unit. So don't think that you need to have everything off-site. Consider just putting your inventory off-site, but keeping your office in your home. Not only that, but if you move your entire business outside of your home, you no longer get tax deductions for operating out of your house. So not only would you be increasing your overhead paying for an office space outside of your home, but you would be losing a lot of tax deductions for your home business. But yes, you might incur new deductions having an off-site location, but you would have to pay significantly more out of your pocket in order to achieve those deductions. So I do think it is worth it to save your money and keep your office inside your house, even if you want to move all of your inventory off-site. So in closing, I know that a lot of us entrepreneurs want to scrimp and save anywhere we can so that we don't run out of money to operate our business, but I do feel like there are certain key areas where it is worth it to spend a little bit of money on your business. And those are the 8 that I thought of. What did I leave out? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you feel like there is something that it is worth spending money on your business that I didn't mention here? Leave it down in the comment section. If you like this video and videos like it, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and ring the notification bell. Don't forget to check the video description. I will put a lot of useful information in there as well as anything I mentioned in this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye-bye.